Hey everybody, and welcome to day 13 of the 31 and 31 Kaiju reviews for the Terrible Terror podcast. And today we have Gigan versus Godzilla, or Godzilla versus Gigan, if you want to be really technical about it. But so this film, it's still pretty fun, actually, and it has one of my favorite monster designs in it, which is Gigan. Whoever came up with the design, and I don't know off the top of my head, because I'm doing these almost exactly after I've watched the film, did a really good job. Like, a really good job. I love the way he looks with his, like, saw blade thing. And again, he's a space monster, so he's kind of focused, being a little more extraterrestrial than the other monsters, which are kind of rooted in domestic monsters, I guess you could say. So, basic plot of the film are space cockroaches, yeah, you heard that right, have come down to the planet and developed a way to control space kaiju so that they can take over the planet, and they get thwarted by a bunch of random people. One being a comic book artist, and it's not necessarily like you would think that, oh, it's going to be kind of like silly and stuff like that. It's not really silly. The human aspect is actually not that bad in this film. I think it does relatively well compared to some of the other films that are on the list, especially the last one. It's not really, you don't go with the child actors or actresses again. It's really focused around them actually trying to stop them and actually save Godzilla for once, because the space people, they basically have a way to kill Godzilla. Because they're building this giant, it's under the guise of like a children's land, but instead it's for evil and nefarious purposes of killing Godzilla and helping to take over the planet using Gigan and Ghidorah. So yes, you have King Ghidorah in this movie, and you have Anguirus. He is back. He does shit. Basically, he gets his face fucking mutilated in one scene, and that's about it. That's what you get. So, overall, the film is very entertaining, but the one thing I do not like in this film, and it drives me batty, is the fact that all of the kaiju battles are really slow. Like, they start up, but they're relatively good in terms of how they do it, but they're just so goddamn slow. Like, everybody's fighting in fucking slow motion, trying to maybe give an emphasis that they're huge beings or something like that, but it just does not work. Like, it does not work right. And I wish everything, like, you look at the ones from the 60s and the 50s, and when the kaijus fight, it's nice, it's fluid, and it seems even with Ghidorah and this one, they're both relatively slow, like giving you the impression that things are a lot, slower because they're a lot bigger and stuff like that, but it really isn't. Like, it's just kind of annoying. So, overall, I'm going to give this film 3 out of 5 Gigan saw blades. It's very entertaining when they're on screen. The human stuff isn't bad. Things, of course, should always be better, but it definitely has a little bit of a darker tone when it comes to the rest of the stuff. And there's not, like, really silly Godzilla moments either. There's a couple that are in here. But nothing really expensive to the point that I'd be like, oh, whatever. And the fact that they're like space cockroaches is kind of dumb, to be honest with you. But they're trying all to do different things. Again, we're not going through the early areas where it was a goddamn reporter finding everything. At least there's some backorder, or backstory that's a little different. Backorder? What the fuck am I talking about? But the downside is that a lot of these have to do with things coming from space. That's where we're kind of headed. Ghidorah was the same thing, came from space. Here comes Gigan and, Monster X or King Ghidorah. They're coming from space, and the plot's coming from space. Hopefully in our next film, we won't get the same type of plot, but we'll see. So, for now, this has been the 3131 for the Terrible Terror Kaiju Fest, and we'll see you next time. Bye.